Hello, dear friends, and greetings to you all once again from St. Paul of the Cross, Passionist Retreat Center. This is our 16th Sunday in Ordinary Time, and yet even in ordinary time we have extraordinary messages that come to us from the Holy Scriptures. For example, our first reading, we have Abraham sitting under a terebinth tree. I think I said that right. And there's always a terebinth tree when there's a sacred moment. It gives shade, and the heat of the day cools the person sitting under the tree. And Abraham is sitting there, and he sees three strangers in the heat, standing in the sun, probably angels, as we have come to discover. And he invites them to come in, to get water for their feet, to bathe their feet, to get some food to nourish them on their journey. And they're so grateful, and as they're leaving, after receiving this wonderful hospitality, the angel, the one speaker from the group, said, "We will return again at this time next year, and then your wife, Sarah, will have a child." Now, Sarah was not supposed to be able to conceive, elderly, and yet this kindness furthered God's plan, and Abraham, the father of the great nation. And sure enough, Abraham would give birth to the child, and Isaac would be his name. But the real great message on this Sunday we have in the Gospel from Matthew. We have the story of Jesus going to Bethany. He's visiting Mary and Mary and Martha, pardon me. And you know the story, of course. Martha is very busy preparing food and setting things up and doing all of these things. But Mary is sitting there listening to Jesus. And Martha gets a little concerned, and she said, "Lord, aren't you going to say something to my sister? I'm doing all this work while she just sits there." And Jesus, in his own way, was very kind, and he said, "Well, we appreciate all you're doing, but your sister Mary is doing the better thing, because I am here. She's listening to me." And all of our sermons traditionally invite us to stop and think about, are we Marthas, always busy getting things done, or are we Mary, who will sit down and listen and take time to pray? That's the traditional message we get in all of the churches from all of the pulpits. And I'm thinking about that because while it's true we have to be Mary and sit down and listen, I think there's a deeper message, and that is not just listening, but all of us has to take that journey where we go deeper inside. Not just what we hear, but a willingness in the stillness of our heart to go deeper, to encounter ourselves as beloved of God. And that's been on my mind. I remember, and I'll share just this brief moment that took place after a women's retreat. A lady came up to me, and she'd had a tremendous experience. You see, this woman was not a happy person. She did not feel good about herself. She felt, because of maybe the problems and the distress in her life and the way she was not in a very loving way coping with the stress, and she was angry and hurting people and alienating people, and she was somehow convinced that because of that, which maybe was the best she could do, that God didn't really love her, that God would withdraw his love because she wasn't being a better person than she actually was. And not only that God didn't love her, but she felt as if God didn't see her. God had somehow just walked away from her. But during the retreat, because she came here, she took time to listen. She took time to go deeper. Not just in the stillness where you don't have noise around you, but you go within yourself and you discover, because you hear the Lord speak to you, I love you just as you are. I love you for who you are. Yes, I give you grace. You can be better. You can do better. But I'm not going to love you when you're the better person. I'm going to love you right now. I'm going to love you just as you are. And I think what an important message for all of us. God loves us now. And when we go deep into our hearts and we encounter the voice of God in the stillness, but we also see ourselves, we're able to let go of our doubt and our worry and our fear. And we trust once again that God loves me right now. God loves me for who I am. I don't have to become perfect and then God will love me more. God already does, just as we are. And that happens when we come on retreat. I'll give you this invitation. Come on retreat. Come to the stillness, the quiet, and listen to the Lord. And discover, as you listen, like Mary sitting at the feet of Jesus, discover that God's love is there. He sees you. He is with you. Not down the road when you are much better than you really should be as you are, but he loves you right now. Right now in this very moment. You are precious to God. You are God's beloved. So what a great message for us in this ordinary time. July, quiet time, hot summer, but what a great gift from the Lord to know how precious and beloved we are. God bless you all, and thank you so much for visiting us.